Today's journey takes us back more than a century, to a moment when a single copper penny didn't just enter circulation. It rewrote American coin history. This is the story of the 1909 Lincoln wheat cent, a coin that didn't just begin a new era. It became one of the most iconic, emotional, and collectible coins ever made. So sit back, because what you're about to hear is not just a tale of metal. It's a story of honor, controversy, art, politics, and a mystery that still excites collectors today. Let's begin. A nation searching for change. The year was 1909. America had stepped into a new century. A century of innovation, ambition, and progress. But there was something missing. For decades, American coins carried traditional symbols. Liberty's head, eagles, shields, but never the face of a real American hero. Then came a powerful idea. Why not honor Abraham Lincoln, the 100th anniversary of his birth? Lincoln was more than a president. He represented unity, freedom, sacrifice. People didn't just admire him. They saw him as the soul of the nation. So in 1909, the U.S. Mint made a bold decision. For the first time in American history, a real person would be placed on a coin. And that person would be Abraham Lincoln. Collectors today call this moment the beginning of the modern American coin. The artist behind the masterpiece. To bring Lincoln to life on the penny, the Mint selected Victor David Brenner, a sculptor known for his extraordinary attention to detail. He studied Lincoln's photographs, speeches, and stories. He spent weeks carving the perfect portrait, one that captured Lincoln's wisdom, sadness, strength, and hope. His final design was simple, powerful, and beautiful. When the officials saw it, they said, "This is the one." But they didn't know that this design would soon create a controversy that collectors still talk about more than 100 years later, the birth of the wheat penny. On August 2nd, 1909, the Mint released the very first Lincoln wheat cent. People lined up outside banks just to get a glimpse of it. On the front, Lincoln's portrait. On the back, 2 wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent, United States of America. This wheat design symbolized growth, agriculture, and prosperity. A tribute to the working people who built America. The coin was an instant success. Newspapers praised it, citizens treasured it, collectors saved it. But within days, something unusual happened. The VDB scandal. At the bottom of the reverse, in small but clear letters, were 3 initials. VDB, the signature of the artist Victor David Brenner. Some critics didn't like it. They argued the initials were too large and too bold. Soon protests began. Articles appeared in newspapers calling it unacceptable self-advertising. Under pressure, the U.S. Mint made a drastic decision. They removed the initials immediately. This one short decision changed everything. Because the initial version, the one with VDB, had been minted for only a few days, and the San Francisco Mint produced very few of them. This created non-VDB, or minks to a novidib. T1909 SVDB, the rarest and most valuable. 1909 SNO VDB, 4 varieties, 4 different histories, 4 different values, and collectors were officially obsessed. The San Francisco Mystery. Now let's talk about the San Francisco Mint, the mint responsible for creating one of the most legendary rare coins of all time. The San Francisco Mint produced very few 1909 SVDB wheat cents. Only 484,000 were minted. To understand how small that is, most modern pennies are minted in the billions. So a coin with less than 500,000 pieces. That's microscopic compared to today's numbers. Collectors instantly recognized how important this was. Many people saved them. Some hid them away. Others placed them in books and never touched them. But time wasn't kind. Most coins wore out, got lost, corroded, or were damaged. Today, finding a 1909 VDB in high grade is like discovering a treasure chest washed ashore from a sunken ship. How to identify a 1909 penny? Collectors search for the mint mark S below the date, sharp wheat lines, strong details in Lincoln's beard and coat, original red color, RD, VDB initials beneath the wheat. The most valuable combination is 1909 SVDB in red, RD color high grade. These coins are the stars of auctions. Copper, that stood the test of time. The composition of the 1909 wheat cent is 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. This copper purity gives the coin a rich, warm color. Collectors categorize the color into BN brown, RB red brown, RD red. RD is the most valuable because very few survived with full red surfaces after 115 years. Why this coin matters. The 1909 Lincoln wheat cent is more than just the first Lincoln penny. It represents the first real human face on a U.S. coin, the beginning of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history, a tribute to honesty, leadership, and unity, a controversy that made certain versions extremely rare, a collectible that connects history to the present day. Collectors often say, if you don't have a 1909 penny, your Lincoln collection hasn't truly begun. Value. Now we arrive at the part you always wait for. How much is the 1909 Lincoln wheat cent worth today? Let's break it down. 1909 no mint mark, worth $5 to $100 depending on grade. 1909 VDB, worth $20 to $500 depending on grade. 1909S no VDB, worth $100 to several $1,000s depending on condition. 1909S VDB, the king of the series. This is the coin every collector dreams of. Auction records include $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, even $150,000 plus in top grades. A perfect blazing red specimen can easily break $200,000 plus today, depending on the grade. This coin is not just rare, it's a legend. Owning one is like holding history in your hands. The 1909 Lincoln wheat cent is a masterpiece of American history, born in controversy, strengthened by rarity, cherished for beauty, and honored for its connection to Abraham Lincoln himself. More than 115 years later, it still inspires collectors, historians, and treasure hunters, because sometimes one small copper coin can hold a story big enough to last forever. Coin number 2, 1909 S. Lincoln wheat cent, the beginning of a legacy. The year is 1909. America is changing rapidly. The 20th century is in full swing. Industrialization, urban growth, and social transformation are shaping the future of the nation. Amid this era of progress, a small but iconic coin quietly enters circulation. The 1909 S. Lincoln wheat cent. It might weigh only a few grams, but in the world of coin collecting, it carries immense historical significance and value. This is not just a penny. It is a tribute to one of the most revered presidents in American history, Abraham Lincoln, and the start of a series that would define American coinage for decades. The design of the Lincoln cent. The 1909 Lincoln cent marks a monumental shift in U.S. coinage. For the first time, a real person, Abraham Lincoln, appears on a circulating U.S. coin. Victor David Brenner's design was chosen to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it instantly became a symbol of reverence and artistic excellence. Obverse, front. Portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Inscriptions: In God We Trust, Liberty, and the year 1909. The portrait captures Lincoln's thoughtful demeanor and dignified presence. Reverse, back. 2 wheat stalks flank 1 cent and United States of America, known as the wheat ears design, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. The 1909 S. Lincoln cent is the San Francisco mint version, with a small S mint mark located below the date, a detail that makes it particularly rare and collectible. Composition and longevity. The 1909 S. Lincoln cent is struck in bronze, composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin its characteristic reddish-brown hue, which many collectors prize today. Despite over a century of handling and circulation, many 1909s pennies retain traces of their original luster, especially uncirculated examples. The coin's composition also ensures durability, allowing it to survive decades in circulation and find its way into collectors' hands around the world. Rarity and mint significance. The S mint mark is the key to understanding the rarity of this coin. In 1909, the San Francisco Mint produced significantly fewer pennies than Philadelphia. Only 1/825,000 Lincoln cents were minted at San Francisco with the VDB initials on the reverse and fewer without the initials. This low mintage immediately elevated the coin's value among collectors, making it a coveted piece in the Lincoln cent series. High-grade examples are exceedingly rare, particularly those that retain full original color and sharp relief details. How to identify the 1909 S. Lincoln cent. Collectors should check for the following details to confirm authenticity. Obverse, front. Sharp portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Clear inscriptions: In God We Trust and Liberty. Date 1909 with small S mint mark below. Reverse, back. Wheat stalks are fully visible, 1 cent and United States of America, crisp and well-defined. Look for any die cracks, variations, or VDB initials on some 1909 S coins. Key identification tip. The S mint mark differentiates this coin from the Philadelphia versions. Only authentic 1909 S Lincoln cents are truly rare and valuable. Historical context. The 1909 S Lincoln cent circulated during a pivotal moment in American history. The progressive era was underway, with reform movements, industrial growth, and social change shaping the nation. Ordinary Americans carried these pennies in their pockets, unaware that some of them would one day become numismatic treasures. Each coin witnessed everyday transactions, from buying bread to tipping streetcar operators. Owning a 1909 S Lincoln cent today is like holding a small piece of living history, connecting us to the early 20th century. Market value. The 1909 S Lincoln wheat cent is highly sought after due to its low mintage, historical importance, and collector demand. Approximate current market value USD. Circulated, good to very fine, $150, $500. Extremely fine, XF40, XF45, $600, $200. Uncirculated, MS60, MS63, 2,500, 5,000. Gem condition, MS65 plus, $10,000, 25,000 plus. Top red specimens, RD, MS and 66 plus. Could exceed $50,000 in rare auctions. The value of the 1909S is also influenced by whether it includes the VDB initials on the reverse. Coins with the initials are among the most valuable. Collector tips. If you're searching for a 1909S Lincoln cent, check for the San Francisco mint mark, S. Only these coins have low mintage and high collector value. Evaluate the color. Red RD or red-brown RB coins are more valuable than fully brown coins. Inspect condition carefully. High-grade coins with minimal wear are rare. Authenticate and grade. Always verify with PCGS or NGC to ensure the coin's authenticity and grade. Research auction records. Compare with past sales to understand market trends and potential value. Why the 1909S penny is special. The 1909S Lincoln wheat cent represents a turning point in U.S. coinage. First U.S. coin to feature a real person. First year of the Lincoln cent series. Low mintage from San Francisco Mint makes it extremely rare. It's more than a coin. It's a symbol of American history, artistry, and the evolution of numismatics. Imagine holding a 1909 S Lincoln cent. You're sorting through a jar of old pennies and spot a coin with a small cent beneath the date. The wheat stalks on the reverse gleam faintly in the light. You hold it in your hand and realize this small bronze disc, over 110 years old, may be worth thousands of dollars. It's not just a coin. It's a tangible link to history, art, and the ingenuity of the early 20th century. The 1909S Lincoln wheat cent is a cornerstone for serious collectors. Its combination of historical significance, low mintage, and artistic beauty makes it a centerpiece in any Lincoln cent collection. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a passionate beginner, this coin is a bridge to America's past, carrying the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the story of a nation. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1909S Lincoln wheat cent. Coin number 3, a 1911S Lincoln wheat cent, a rare century-old treasure. The year is 1911. America is experiencing a period of rapid industrial growth and social transformation. The first decade of the 20th century has seen technological marvels, bustling cities, and a nation increasingly aware of its place in the modern world. Amid all this progress, a small coin quietly enters the pockets of everyday Americans, the 1911S Lincoln wheat cent. Though it is small, weighing just a few grams, this bronze coin carries a weight far greater in the eyes of collectors. History, rarity, and the story of a nation in motion. Lincoln on the cent. By 1911, the Lincoln cent series had been circulating for just 2 years, having debuted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner's design had already captured the hearts of Americans. Obverse, front. A dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1911. Reverse, back. 2 elegant wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America. symbolizing America's agricultural strength and prosperity. The 1911 Lincoln wheat cent stood out for its San Francisco Mint S origin, a mark that made it rarer than coins minted in Philadelphia. Composition and durability. The 1911 Lincoln cent is made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it the classic reddish-brown hue that collectors prize. Even after more than a century, many specimens retain portions of their original luster. Collectors often classify the coin by color: BN, brown, typical circulated appearance; RB, red-brown, partially preserved original shine; RD, red, fully preserved original mint luster, extremely desirable. The bronze composition also ensures durability, allowing these coins to survive decades in circulation and into collectors' hands today. Rarity and mint mark significance. The San Francisco Mint Mark S is the key to the coin's rarity. In 1911, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Lincoln cents, but the San Francisco Mint produced far fewer. This lower mintage immediately made the 1911 S more sought after among collectors. High-grade examples of the 1911 S can command substantial premiums at auctions, particularly when they display full, original luster and sharp detail. How to identify a genuine 1911 Lincoln cent. If you want to verify that you have a 1911 Lincoln wheat cent, look for the following details. Obverse, front. Clear, strong profile of Abraham Lincoln. "In God we trust," arched above the head. Liberty to the left. Date 1911, crisp and well-defined. Reverse, back. 2 wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America. Full, sharp relief is highly prized. Mint mark. The S below the date on the reverse indicates San Francisco Mint origin. Coins without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. Authenticity is key. High-grade examples should be verified by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. The historical context. The 1911 Lincoln wheat cent circulated in a world quite different from today. The United States was still a young industrial power, slowly emerging as a global player. Coins like this one were carried by workers, children, and merchants alike, facilitating commerce and daily life. Each coin bore witness to everyday transactions, from paying for a loaf of bread to tipping a cab driver. Holding a 1911 Lincoln cent today is like holding a small piece of living history, a tactile connection to an America over a century ago. Market value. The 1911 Lincoln wheat cent is highly sought after by collectors due to its low mintage. Historical significance and condition sensitivity. Approximate current market value USD. Circulated, good to very fine, $50, $200. Extremely fine, XF40, XF45, $250, $400. Uncirculated, MS60, MS63, 500 low, 1000. Gem condition, MS65 plus, $2,000, 5,000 plus. Top red specimens, RD, MS66 plus, could fetch over $7,000 or more at auctions. The rarity of the San Francisco Mint mark, combined with full original color, can elevate the coin's value dramatically. Collector tips. For those hunting a 1911 Lincoln wheat cent, look for the San Francisco Mint mark. Coins from Philadelphia are far more common. Evaluate the color. RD or red-brown coins hold the highest value. Check for wear and damage. Minimal wear, no scratches. And original surfaces are essential for high-grade coins. Authenticate the coin. Send valuable finds to PCGS or NGC for grading. Patience and research are key. Studying auction records, die varieties, and historical mintage numbers can help identify hidden treasures. Why the 1911 penny is special. The 1911 Lincoln wheat cent isn't just a coin, it's a story of history, artistry, and scarcity. It represents early 20th century America, a nation finding its voice on the global stage. It preserves Victor David Brenner's iconic design, a timeless tribute to Abraham Lincoln. Its low mintage from the San Francisco Mint and survival through more than a century of circulation make it highly prized by collectors. Every 1911 penny tells a story of ordinary life, artistry, and the unpredictability of coin collecting. Imagine holding a 1911 Lincoln cent. You open an old coin jar and notice a penny that feels heavier than modern cents. Its reddish-brown surface catches the light. You spot the S mint mark beneath the date, San Francisco. Suddenly, what you thought was just spare change becomes a treasure from over 110 years ago. It's more than a coin. It's a bridge to the past, a conversation piece, and a collectible that could be worth thousands in the right hands. The 1911 S Lincoln wheat cent is a must-have for serious collectors. Its combination of low mintage, historic significance, and beauty makes it a standout coin in the Lincoln cent series. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced numismatist, the 1911 S is a timeless piece of American history, connecting us to a century of culture, commerce, and craftsmanship. And that wraps up today's deep dive into the 1911 S Lincoln wheat cent, coin number 4. 1916 Lincoln wheat cent, a century-old treasure. The year is 1916. America is growing, industrializing, and defining itself as a modern nation. The First World War rages across Europe, and though the United States has not yet joined the conflict, the nation's economy and society are already feeling its influence. Amid this turbulent backdrop, a humble copper coin quietly makes its way into the pockets of Americans across the country, the 1916 Lincoln wheat cent. It might appear ordinary at first glance, but for collectors and historians, this coin is a window into an era, a symbol of artistic evolution, and a rare treasure that commands attention in the numismatic world. The legacy of Lincoln on the cent. By 1916, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for 7 years. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner's design had become an iconic representation of Lincoln's visage. The obverse featured Lincoln's profile, dignified, contemplative, and instantly recognizable. The reverse displayed 2 stalks of wheat framing, the words 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing America's agricultural roots and prosperity. By 1916, the Lincoln cent series had firmly established itself as both a functional coin and a collectible piece of American art. The 1916 bronze cent and its composition. The 1916 Lincoln wheat cent is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Its rich reddish-brown hue stands out among coins of the period, especially when well preserved. Collectors often categorize the coloration as BN brown, typical circulation color; RB, red-brown, partially preserved original luster; RD, red, exceptional preservation, highly prized. The 1916 penny's heavy bronze composition gives it weight and durability, which is why many specimens have survived over 100 years later. Varieties and rarity. Though the 1916 Lincoln cent did not experience the dramatic VDB controversy of 1909, it has its own subtle mysteries that make certain coins highly collectible. For example, differences in strike quality and die variations create distinguishable varieties. Coins from certain mints, especially San Francisco S and Denver D, tend to be rarer in higher grades. Collectors today obsess over these subtle differences, understanding that small variations can mean thousands of dollars in value, particularly for well-preserved examples. How to identify a 1916 Lincoln cent. To recognize a genuine 1916 Lincoln wheat cent. Obverse, front. Profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Clear inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1916. Reverse, back. 2 wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America. Strong, sharp relief is ideal. Worn or faded details reduce value. Mint mark. No mint mark. Philadelphia Mint. D in Denver Mint. SBL San Francisco Mint. Collectors prize coins with strong original color, full detail, and minimal wear. The historical context. The 1916 penny represents more than just currency. It was minted during a period of global uncertainty and domestic growth. Americans carried these coins in their pockets through daily life. From factories to farms to city streets, each coin silently recorded the economic and social conditions of the time. Holding a 1960 Lincoln cent today is like touching history, a tangible connection to the life of ordinary Americans a century ago. Market value and collectability. While many Lincoln cents from the 1910s exist, the 1916 Lincoln wheat cent has certain factors that can drive value dramatically. Approximate current market value USD. Circulated, good to very fine, 10, 50, extremely fine, XF40, XF45. $60, $150. Uncirculated, MS-60, MS-63, $250, $500. Gem condition, MS-65 plus, $800, $2,000 plus. Top full red specimens, RD, MS-66 plus, could exceed $5,000 in auctions. The rarer 1916S and 1916D coins, particularly in high grade, are especially sought after. Tips for collectors. If you are hunting for a 1916 Lincoln wheat cent, check the mint mark carefully. DNS mint marks are rarer than Philadelphia coins. Inspect the color. RD coins are most valuable. Look for original red luster. Evaluate wear. Even minor scratches or polishing can dramatically reduce collector value. Authenticate the coin. PCGS or NGC certification increases trust and value. Knowledge is key. The more familiar you are with die variations, mint marks and color categories, the better your chances of finding a treasure. Why the 1916 penny is special. The 1916 Lincoln wheat cent is not just another coin. It represents over a century of American history. It is a bridge between early 20th century coin design and modern numismatics. It embodies the artistry of Brenner and the care of early mint workers. Even among hundreds of millions of pennies minted in the decade, the 1916 Lincoln cent stands out for its historical significance, rarity in higher grades, and appeal to collectors. Imagine holding history. Imagine reaching into an old coin jar and pulling out a penny minted in 1916. It weighs a little more than modern pennies. Its copper surface carries a warm reddish tone, and its design tells a story of a young nation honoring a great president. Every scratch, every gleam, every detail connects you to an America long past. To children saving pennies, to workers tipping their hats, to a mint worker striking a coin that would survive over 100 years. It's not just a coin, and it's a time capsule. The 1916 Lincoln wheat cent is more than metal and date. It is a symbol of art, history, and human stories frozen in bronze. Collectors, historians, and enthusiasts all recognize its importance. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, owning or even spotting a 1916 Lincoln cent is an experience that connects you to over a century of American legacy. And that brings us to the end of our journey through 4 of the most fascinating Lincoln wheat cents. 1909 Lincoln wheat cent, the very first of its kind, a historical treasure. 1911 is Lincoln wheat cent, San Francisco rarity that collectors dream of. 1916 Lincoln wheat cent, a bridge between the early and mid-series pennies. Unaiminoa Lincoln wheat cent, the ultra-rare San Francisco mint gem that started a collecting revolution. Each coin isn't just a piece of metal. It's a story, a piece of American history, and a symbol of artistry and legacy. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey into the world of coins, remember, hidden treasures can be anywhere, even in your own pocket change. If you enjoyed discovering these rare pennies, like this video, subscribe to OldCoin Secrets. Turn on notifications so you never miss another rare coin story.
Thanks for watching.
And stay tuned for our next deep dive into coins that could be worth thousands, or even more.